2010. The streaming revolution has just begun. DVD rentals are fading. Cable television still dominates living rooms. And one company seems to have discovered the future. Netflix is growing faster than anyone expected. Millions of people are canceling cable. Streaming becomes the new way to watch entertainment. Netflix is not just winning, it is dominating. By the late 2010s, the company is worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Investors believe it will control the future of television. But today, something has changed. Growth is slowing. Competition is everywhere. And the company that once defined streaming is now fighting to defend its position. How did the company that reinvented entertainment suddenly find itself in trouble? The company that broke television. Netflix did something no traditional media company wanted to do. It broke the rules of television. For decades, television followed a predictable model. Episodes aired once a week. Schedules were fixed. Viewers had to wait. Netflix removed that structure entirely. Instead of weekly releases, entire seasons arrived at once. Binge watching was born. People no longer waited for television. Television waited for them. Shows like Stranger Things became global phenomena almost overnight. The success of series like House of Cards proved something important. Streaming could produce blockbuster entertainment. For the first time, viewers controlled when and how they watched. Cable companies suddenly looked outdated. Hollywood studios were confused. Executives who once dismissed streaming now saw something dangerous. Netflix was not just distributing content, it was redefining how entertainment worked. And Netflix kept growing. By 2020, it had more than 200 million subscribers worldwide. It expanded into dozens of countries. Local productions appeared in Korea, Spain, Germany, and India. Suddenly, Netflix was not just an American company. It was global. But success created a new problem. Netflix had shown the entire entertainment industry how streaming worked. And eventually, the industry learned. The competition arrives. For years, Netflix operated with very little serious competition. Traditional media companies were slow to react. Many believed streaming would remain a niche product. They were wrong. Once the potential became clear, the biggest companies in entertainment moved quickly. Disney launched Disney Plus. Amazon expanded Prime Video. Warner Bros. Discovery introduced HBO Max. Apple launched Apple TV Plus. Suddenly, Netflix was no longer alone. But its competitors had something extremely valuable. They owned decades of content, massive film libraries, legendary franchises, global brands. Marvel, Star Wars, Batman, Harry Potter. Classic films and television series that audiences already loved. Studios began pulling their movies and shows from Netflix. Content that once made Netflix attractive began disappearing. Those same studios launched their own platforms. The streaming battlefield was becoming crowded. And for the first time, Netflix was not the only destination. The cost of original content. To compete, Netflix had to do something expensive. Create its own entertainment empire. Instead of licensing shows, it started producing them. At first, the strategy worked. Original series became massive hits. But success created a new pressure. The audience expected constant new content. The platform could not slow down. Every year, the production budget increased. Billions of dollars were spent on films, documentaries, and television series. Netflix was producing more content than almost any studio in history. But creating hit shows is unpredictable. For every global success, dozens of expensive projects quietly disappeared. Some series were canceled after a single season. Others never found an audience. The financial risk was enormous. Traditional media companies had multiple sources of revenue: theme parks, cable networks, movie theaters, merchandise. Netflix had something much simpler: subscriptions. If subscriber growth slowed, the entire system became fragile. The slowing of growth. For years, Netflix seemed unstoppable. Subscriber numbers climbed every quarter. Investors believed the platform could eventually reach billions of users. But markets do not grow forever. Eventually, growth slowed. In some regions, almost everyone who wanted Netflix already had it. Competition divided the audience. Instead of one dominant service, viewers began subscribing to several, or canceling them entirely. Then came the shock. In 2022, Netflix reported a decline in subscribers. For the first time in over a decade. The market reaction was immediate. The stock price collapsed. Billions of dollars in value disappeared. Suddenly, the narrative changed. Netflix was no longer the unstoppable disruptor. It was a company under pressure, password sharing, and new rules. Netflix had another problem. Millions of people were watching without paying. Password sharing had become normal. Entire families and friend groups used one account. For years, Netflix tolerated it. Some executives even encouraged it. But when growth slowed, the company changed its position. New restrictions were introduced. Users were asked to pay for additional households. Some customers were frustrated, but the strategy worked. Millions of new paying users appeared. Netflix proved it could still adapt when necessary. Advertising returns. There was another decision that shocked the industry. For years, Netflix resisted advertising. It positioned itself as the premium alternative to television. No ads, just entertainment. But as competition increased, the company introduced a new tier, a cheaper plan supported by advertising. It was a major shift. Some critics saw it as a step backward. Others saw it as a smart adaptation. The reality was simple. Streaming was no longer a luxury market. It had become mass entertainment. And mass entertainment often includes advertising. The new streaming landscape. Today, the streaming industry looks very different from 10 years ago. The market is crowded. Content is fragmented. Viewers subscribe, cancel, and move between platforms constantly. The golden age of effortless growth is over. Now the industry faces a new challenge: profitability. Producing massive amounts of content is expensive. Studios are beginning to reduce spending. Some platforms are even shutting down. The streaming war is entering a new phase: survival. Today, the future of streaming looks very different. The industry Netflix created has become fiercely competitive. Every major studio now has its own platform. Content is scattered across multiple services, and viewers are beginning to feel the cost of subscribing to them all. But one thing remains true. Without Netflix, none of this would exist. The company that once mailed DVDs changed how the entire world watches entertainment. It proved that technology could break a century-old industry. And even now, in the middle of fierce competition, Netflix remains one of the most powerful media companies on Earth. The question is no longer whether streaming will survive. That battle is already won. The real question is who will control it, and whether the company that started the revolution can still lead it.